All right, so it's been about a month since I've covered any of the brand new spoilers for the brand new set coming out, Shadows of the Galaxy. And there's been a lot of spoilers come out in that last month. I believe my very first spoiler video came out on the 4th of April. If you want to check out that video, card will be in the top, but you probably already know what those spoilers are anyway. Since there's been so many different spoilers to come out over the last month, I'm kind of just going to break it into three, hopefully short videos that I don't have a whole lot of like takes or hot takes or anything on the cards. Hopefully I can keep it nice, condensed, short and sweet and all that stuff. I'm gonna break it into two, maybe three videos. This first video is solely all the heroic spoils that have been spoiled so far. The second video will be either just Villainy or Villainy plus the single aspect cards as well, the ones that are not Villainy or heroic. But I'll figure that out here in a day or two whenever I decide to record it. So without further ado, let's get into the heroic spoilers from the last month. Now, like I said, I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet for you guys. There's like 10 of them that I'm going to actually talk about a little bit. These are kind of just honorable mentions. These 5 right here, I don't really have a whole lot to say about these guys. Night Owl Skirmisher is like pretty spare the target is heroic waylay, but it doesn't target your own stuff. Clone Deserter could be pretty good in like a Luke deck because 2/3. I'm sorry, my bad. It said 2/3. I promise. With Restore 1 on turn when you pop a shield on it, could be pretty good. Yeah, not really much to say. First card I'm actually going to be talking about today is going to be Hunter Outcast Sergeant. Personally, it's one of the it's a super cool leader. 7 resource 5/8. So I mean, it's pretty good. Overwhelm as well. Overwhelm is very good. It's Vader stats with Overwhelm. So yeah, like I was saying, having Vader stat line with Overwhelm is pretty good. It helps you keep your important uniques in play. I guess I should actually say what it is. I'm trying to keep it short and sweet. You can read it, pause it if you need to. But it gives basically any unique that's in your resource pile, like Smuggle 1, which is really, really good actually. And then it's probably going to be good in like a Twin Sun style of deck. So it's based on the subtitle and not the name whenever it comes to like the unique rule where you play one and either, the first one blows up, or in Twin Suns, you can only play one in general. So say there comes out to be like a 4 resource Han unit card, you play that on the field, but earlier in your Twin Suns game, you had your one of Han that we know, the ambush one, in your resource pile. You activate Hunter, targeting the Han on the field to put the Han in your resource pile back in your hand to use later in the game. I feel like he'd be pretty good in that aspect if we got a lot of cards with the same name but different subtitles and like different varying costs to sort of allow you to resource them and get them later. But I feel like he might just be like a Twin Suns leader. I don't know. I might be taking too long. Let's keep it moving. Next up, Katan Kryze, 6 resource 4/7. Has the same stat line as Luke Skywalker and Jyn Erso. You basically can do 7 damage in a turn plus some with this card. You attack with a Mandalorian unit, you deal 1 damage on her leader side, and then you flip. You attack with Bo-Katan for 4 damage, and then you deal 1 damage and then another 1 damage if you attack with a Mandalorian unit. It's like probably going to be a mini board wipe in some way, shape, or form into aggro matchups, which could be pretty cool. Something that mid-range decks have been missing in a sense. I do think it's going to be a pretty mid-rangey, like red-blue hero style of deck is what I see this going to be. I don't see it being aggro. I see it pretty mid-rangey. Enough said. I'm just going to try and keep it nice and concise, like a minute or less on each card. I don't want to make the video too long for you guys. So next up, we have a couple cards on this one slide. We have Gentle Giant and Echo. Gentle Giant's a 6 resource 2/8 Wookiee with grit, and on attack you may heal damage from another unit equal to damage on this unit. They did say in the live stream where they announced a lot of these cards actually that there's going to be a lot of Wookiee Matters cards going to be like in the set. So Wookiee Tribal could live, a lot of support for. Jesus, don't jump up on my desk. Boy, don't jump up on my desk. Look at this. Ash Brown. Yeah, they did say there's going to be a lot of Wookiee Matters cards, so this card could probably only get better. Having 2 of these on the field at a time or 1 with Sentinel is going to be pretty hard to deal with. I'm probably going to be personally testing it in like Cheer It decks, just because I feel like it'd be good if it wasn't Heroism only. I feel like it'd be a pretty good fit into Grand Inquisitor as well, but Grand Inquisitor can't have it all. That's fine. Now Echo over here is a 4 cost 4/4 Restore 2. When played, you may discard a card from your hand, give 2 experience tokens to a unit in play with the same name as the discarded card. It may go well with Hunter because both of those, Echo and Hunter, the leader we just talked about, They really care about having like multiples of different uniques in the deck. Alliance Dispatcher on turn 1 can easily turn this into a turn 2 6/6 worth of resources with Restore 2, which is going to be really good for like Luke mid-range, Luke control decks going into aggro matchups. I feel like good leaders for it would be, Hunter, Luke, maybe even Han could benefit from running Echo. But, more to be seen. We still have like over 200 cards in the set we still haven't seen, so who knows. Next up, we have a pair of uniques here, Ketsu Onyo and Koska Reeves. Ketsu Onyo, the old friend, is a 2-resource 3/2 Mandalorian Underworld Bounty Hunter. A lot of keywords on that one. Saboteur, and when this unit deals combat damage to a base, you may defeat an upgrade that costs 2 or less. This card I think is going to be super cool. Its biggest targets, at least in the game right now that we've seen, it's going to be really good at getting rid of shields on those annoying shield units. Even entrenched, I can see this card being a really good sideboard to deal with control decks that are entrenching your key units. You play Ketsu Onyo, and when you're dealing combat damage to a base, which you're going to be doing because nothing can stop a Saboteur, you can just pop an Entrench that's currently sitting on your Sabine or your Leia, and that way you can get some more damage going. And also with this set being upgrade heavy as been teased, I think this card is going to be a sleeper and only at uncommon. Hopefully getting a set of hyperspace of this card would be really cool. And also if there's like a new non-rebel focus aggro deck that pops up in Heroic, I feel like this is going to be a staple, not only as a sideboard, but just in the main deck in general. Next up, we have Koska. Let me move real quick. So it's a 4-resource 4/5 Mandalorian Trooper. On attack, if this unit is upgraded, you may deal 2 damage to a ground unit. This card is also crazy. It kills any 7 HP leader and lives with upgrades like Infiltrator skill in red, which is a 1-resource upgrade, Snapshot Reflexes in yellow. I was thinking like maybe like a red Luke deck, like I don't know, red Luke, because you shield it and then it's dealing 6 damage with the shield because you can deal 2 damage to a ground unit. This rare card is going to be one of the ones that goes up in price. I can see it now. This is a really good rare card. So it's like maybe the K2 red 3 range of $10 plus. I mean, get it while you can. Get it when the set comes out. Try to open some up. The art makes it seem like the hyperspace could be pretty cool. I don't know. I like looking for potential hyperspaces. So next, lastly, I just got the last 4 cards all in one slide. I didn't have a whole lot to say about them, but actually I probably do. There's some of these I really like. But anyway, so Cripple Authority, it's 2-resource, draw a card. Each opponent who controls more resources than you discards a card from their hand. Not only is this a good card into ramp and control style decks, but Cassian Andor decks, Han Red decks, Sabine Yellow decks who are already doing like Spark of Rebellion, Forced Surrender shenanigans are just going to benefit even more from this card, I feel. And then, this guy right here is me whenever I'm on TCG Player looking at prices of cards. He's like, oh my god. I don't know, bro. L3 3/7, 2-resource 2/2 Underworld Droid. This is basically just the heroic upgraded, like strictly better version of Crafty Smuggler. When played, you may rescue a captured card. If you don't, give it a shield. So it's a 2-resource 2/2 shielded, like Crafty Smuggler, and smuggle for 4. It's just, the smuggle also makes it just a great resource target early in the game if you don't necessarily need a 2/2 shielded at the beginning of the game, and your opponent is running like capture shenanigans, and they capture one of your late game bombs. You just smuggle this out to rescue it, and you get a 2/2 shielded on top of it. Like, crazy card. This card's a staple. Get it while you can. Get it while it's hot. Omega, part of the squad, 2-resource 2/2. I don't know why I covered that up whenever I made the image. Whoops. You get to ignore the aspect penalty of the first clone unit you play each round, and then when played, search the top 5 cards of your deck for a clone, reveal it, draw it, put the other cards on the bottom in a random order. So it's basically, it makes Crosshair playable in hero decks, which, it's a win, flavor win, of course. Crosshair can be part of the gang, because as we could tell by now, the Bad Batch, all of them are going to be in. We just haven't seen Wrecker at this point, and Hunter. So gonna play them all in one deck would be pretty cool. You're basically getting a 2/2 or 2 out, and it also has tied with it Recruit, but it is like a restrictive recruit because you can only look for a clone card, but still pretty good. It also works well with Smuggle as well, because if the first clone unit you play each round, you get to ignore the aspect penalty. When you play a card from that smuggle, you're playing the card. So it also gets to ignore the aspect penalty of any smuggled cards, which is very, very nice. And honestly, Omega's just going to get better with the more cards we see spoiled from the set. Set 3 is going to be a lot of clones, I'm assuming. And then, you know, Twin Suns as well. Probably just going to be another really good Twin Suns card. I'm not going to lie. And then lastly, probably one of my favorite cards spoiled so far, Tech, Source of Insight, a 3 resource, 2/5 Fringe clone. If I ever see it played against me, I am using Takedown on it every single chance I get. This ability is insane. So each friendly resource gains smuggle. The gain smuggle cost is that card's cost +2 and its aspect icons, and you can smuggle him yourself. So every card that's ever been printed now and that will ever be printed forever on is going to have smuggle +2, which is really good. And if you smuggle a card out with Tech, the brand new card that gets put into your resource pile is also going to have smuggle, regardless of if it's printed on the card or not. You're effectively playing with 2 different hands at one time, which is like insane. Except, you know, the resource pile costs a little bit more, but no big deal, honestly. It has a really funny loop with like command. If you're playing mono green, you can give 2 experience tokens and then play it as a resource, which would be kind of cool. And it's just a great late game bomb. If you have like 7-8 resources on the board by then and you play out Tech, you start smuggling cards out that you wouldn't otherwise be able to, and probably helps you seal some games. I think Tech is pretty sweet. But yeah, that's been it for all the heroic spoiled cards so far. Let me know what you guys think of them, if you have any of your favorites. Again, this is just very early parts of spoiler season. FFG, if you're watching, if there's any cool cards that you want spoiled for like Thrawn support, I might be your guy. I don't know. But until next time, everybody, this has been your boy James with Make It Holding. See ya. Peace out. Bye-bye. Look at him go. Wow. Look at him. That's funny. Looks like Tom wins this one.